What is going on, everyone? We are back with the next episode of Adrenaline. I've only just realised by watching one of my old videos that you can actually hear my chair squeak. There's nothing I can really do about that at the moment. I'm broke as fuck and don't have any grease or anything, but that's not important because we are here with the Go Home Show for Against All Odds. Now we have 21 segments taking up all of our time, and we have a fair few pre-show matches, so let's get right into it now. So in a terrible pre-show match, Eli Drake defeated Mahabali Shira in 4:46 with the Gravy Train E plus 30. They don't click, it doesn't matter, because Shira is pretty much a enhancement talent, because I really don't see what I can do with him. Eli with the 36 and Shira with the 24. No worker improvements. And in our next match, we're in front of 4,141 people in the... I'm going to take a guess NM might be North Minnesota, but I really don't know. In the McGee Park Memorial Coliseum. So Grado defeats Aiden O'Shea in 6:41 with a wee boot in a D minus 38. The Borash and Taz have great chemistry. Grado with a 28 and O'Shea with a 38. No worker improvements either. Moving on to Jade defeating Laurel Van Ness in 7:55 by submission with a guillotine choke in a D minus 40. So that's our match of the night so far. And none of my women's matches are rated on sex appeal as of this minute, so these are all like proper ratings, because I want to feel accomplished when I get like that first C plus or that first B by just having built up using wrestling skills and not eye candy, because I know it's a cheat way, but I do want to use them like this, just actual wrestling. Anyway, so color commentary and announcing lifted the match. Jade had a 44 and Laurel with a 22. No work improvements either. That's hopefully going to change. Hopefully tonight we'll get some worker improvements, but we'll move on to not our pre-show main event. Phoenix defeated Swoggle in 5:04 with a Meteora E27. Again, Swoggle is a enhancement talent. Like, I'm really not going to do anything with him. Maybe the odd comedy, but I think he'll barely be on TV. But Phoenix had a 40 and Swoggle with a 16. 16, that's exactly why he's not on TV. Also, because I just don't really like him. Like, I don't know. I don't like the character. I just don't really see any need for it. Vince McMahon's illegitimate son. Moving on to our pre-show main event. Yep. The Wolves defeated the Decay in 9:40 when Eddie Edwards defeated Crazy Steve by submission with an Achilles lock. Steve was the weak link, unfortunately. C62. Steve and Rosemary have no chemistry whatsoever. Davey had a 66, Eddie with a 62, Abyss with a 68, and Steve all the way down with a 29. But Abyss improves in performance skills, so that's not too bad. We'll move on to the proper show now with a C minus 54. Thought we could do better. Drew's not rated very well in his microphone on this, I don't think, but you got to go somewhere. You got to start from somewhere and you got to get higher. So we kick him off. We don't kick him off. We kick off Adrenaline with Galloway sitting on a chair in the ring. He says, "So last week I made a statement at the expense of EC3. All my career I've gone out of my way to endear myself to management, and all my career I've been looked past when I could have been given an opportunity and proven my worth. But they saw me as a joke. They smiled and shook my hand and then laughed behind my back. And as soon as our new owner walked in that door, I knew he'd be exactly the same. I shook his hand and I could see those thoughts swirling around in his head. I am your Impact Grand Champion. I'm not even booked on tonight's show. I've been used time and time again as a good hand in the mid-card to get over your management favourites. Your EC3s, your Will Ospreys, and honestly, I'm sick of it. So I did something to make everyone take notice, and I'll continue to make statements until I'm given the respect I deserve. So that continues our storyline, which has now been renamed to I Want Respect. It got the show off to a good start and got the crowd hotter, and the commentary helped as well. No worker improvements. We move on to probably the biggest angle of the series so far, because wow, that was anticlimactic. Because no, so we'll change that. So man on a mission, gimmick change, because boom, he stands up and he holds his chair in his other hand. He says, "And McGregor, I've brought in some of my boys from the UK, and we'll achieve our goals, and Impact Wrestling will be ours, and will never be the same." Because he points to the stage and outwalk Pete Dunne, Marty Scurll, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate. I'm tripping over my words today. I don't know why. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I've had... I don't know. And Marty Scurll says, "The villain is here. Impact Wrestling, you've been put on notice. I'll make everyone I come across tap or snap. Losing isn't in my vocabulary because the villain always wins." And Dunn says, "I'm Pete Dunne. Behind me are Mustache Mountain, Seven, and Bate. We've previously been known as British Strong Style, and we're here to fuck shit up." Tyler says, "We are the future of this industry. Get used to seeing the five of us, because we're not going anywhere anytime soon." And Seven says, "McGregor, we're your worst nightmare, but this time you don't have the luxury of being able to wake up." So, yeah. We have... So, a couple weeks ago, there were the BSS promos. That's who these guys are. Obviously, I think pretty much most people probably guessed them, even though no one really commented on it. BSS, British Strong Style. It's really not that hard to... I gave it away. But Dunn debuted his Bruiserweight gimmick. It got above average. Tyler with his arrogant heel. Great. Same as Seven. And Scurll debuted his villain gimmick, which also got above average. And Galloway was a real star, but Dunn and Seven performed poorly. So D44, so not the greatest of starts, really. This hasn't advanced the storyline because I forgot to put someone as off screen. But they're going to be big guys. They're going to be cornerstones of divisions and cornerstones of the save. So we're going to move on to Mustache Mountain defeating The Future in 3:57 when Tyler Bate defeats Anthony Bennett by pinfall with a Tyler Driver 97. Tyler carried the match with a 48. Trent had a 30, as did Leo Rush, and Anthony Bennett had a 29. And Bennett improves in performance, and Trent improves in technical, so that's all good. D42 could be a lot worse. And we have Lashley backstage in a suit and tie holding his world championship over his shoulder. He says, "Last week I proved to Cody, to Mr. McGregor, and to all the fans why I'm your Impact Heavyweight Champion. I speared Cody so hard he didn't even show up tonight. However, our match is still on for Sunday, Cody, and there's plenty more pain for me to deal out to you. So I'll see you Sunday. Just don't expect to leave in one piece." C66, that's not bad for a Lashley promo, because I don't think he's rated that highly on the mic in this, but in his current TNA run, with his arrogant heel shtick, he's had some pretty decent promos, so long gone from the early ECW days and everything. Moving on to Rosemary being backstage with the rest of the Decay. She says, "There is another ready to decay with us. Find them, for the more that decay with us, the stronger we become. You know who they are. Find them and bring them to me, or else." So the Decay No More storyline has advanced with this segment and gained heat. C60. And no work improvements. So... oh, that fucking bombed. Sienna's in the ring before her match with a microphone, and she says, "Last week, Nixon Newell cheated to beat me in this ring, and it's been eating me up all week. I need to put it right. Nixon, I want you in a match this Sunday at Against All Odds, so come out here and accept, or I'll find you and set everything right. There just won't be a ref to keep me in line." Nixon appears on the screen, and she thinks for a minute, and she goes, I don't need to accept this match. I've got nothing to prove against you, but I'm always down for a fight, so you're on. Just don't be surprised when you go 0-2 against me. Nixon out. So Sienna, she's trying to twist it, because obviously Nixon won fair and square, but she's like, no, she cheated. No, I'm the victim here, because, that's what heels do. So I'm going to book that in, and we'll be right back. Okay, so the storyline has advanced, but lost heat with the 27, and we move on to a warm-up match for Braxton and Kaylee Ray, where they defeat Caleb Conley and Sienna in 4-10 when Sutter defeats Sienna by pinfall with a neck breaker. That's weird. Okay, so apparently my Impact promotes intergender violence, but oh well. D45. Ali did good work at ringside because of Sienna. Commentary gave the match a boost. Kaylee Ray with a 39, Braxton with a 42, Sienna with a 32, and Conley with a 41. No worker improvements, but we will move on to Braxton picking up the win, but he doesn't get an opportunity to celebrate as he's blindsided by Mike Bennett, who beats him down and puts him out for good with a miracle in progress with the MIP. D-41, and the storyline has advanced. It hasn't gained or lost heat though, and just negatives for Mike apparently being overwhelmed by his wife. Next segment, in about that had subpar wrestling and little heat. Matt Riddle defeated Kingston in 3:02 by submission with a guillotine choke. D-38, Riddle was off his game. Kingston's not suited to his gimmick. The announcing quality lifted the match. Color commentary gave the match a boost. Riddle with a 41, Kingston with a 36. So Kingston got very pissed off at me for a couple of things. I think he turned up drunk to one show, and I hired someone that he didn't like. So he's furious. And he's put in his He's put in his notice. So after this, he's gone. So I thought, why not job him out to Matt Riddle in 3 minutes? Fuck you, Kingston. Fuck off. Go work somewhere else with your drugs and your everything. But anyway, so yeah, he's gone. Didn't win a single match. That's alright. And I don't even know if he's still in TNA in real life. I keep calling it TNA, it's Impact. Anyway, Aaron Rex, who is not in Impact anymore, which is a really weird, really annoying kind of trend now. You look at all the people that are in Impact at the start of the series, and they're just leaving, which is bad because they need as many stars as they can get. They need to make new stars as well. Rex is shown in a relatively posh house on the Titantron. He says, "Matthew, congratulations, you Neanderthal. You're 4-0 since coming to Impact, but you won't make it to 5-0. You have no chance this Sunday when you take on my protege Spud, because you're the classic wrestling meathead. A lot of brawn, not much brain, whereas I've started to pass my wisdom on to Spud. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be in the arena tonight, so you can't try and prove your dominance over me by flexing your muscles and trying to choke me out, you brute. But I will be there on Sunday after I've accepted my Nobel Prize for breakthroughs into the wrestling industry. Spud and I shall enlighten you to the errors of your ways as we save the unwashed masses, one meathead at a time. You're welcome." C61, and the storyline has advanced and gained heat. So yeah, Aaron's got a pretty good microphone rating, so we're just going to use that because booked to strengths unless it's sex appeal, but that's not important. Next segment is Trevor Lee defeating Zack Sabre Jr. I can feel people yelling at me through the screen. Zach, he was on a loan. He's on loan. I haven't signed him yet, so I'm not going to job him out. Don't worry. But anyway, during the match, we had Andrew Everett run in and attack Sabre Jr. D49, not suited to his gimmick. Trevor was off his game. Zach had a 53. Trevor had a 27. We need to build Trevor up. Otherwise, what's the point? Next segment. Trevor Lee's beaten Zack Sabre Jr. in what has to be considered a huge upset, even though he had help. He celebrates in the ring with his title, and ACH comes out onto the stage and he starts clapping sarcastically. ACH has been very cocky the last few weeks, but can he back it up this Sunday when he looks to take the X Division title from Trevor Lee? Find out at Against All Odds. D-37. Storyline has advanced with this segment. No one in the X Division is really over at all, so yeah, we're going to be getting a lot of pretty poor ratings for X Division for a bit until people get over or I bring in more over people. So just bear with me. Next segment is Pete Dunne making his debut when he defeats DJZ with a bitter end in 5:22. He gives us a 36 in-ring performance and DJZ had a 40. No worker improvements. Got to start from somewhere. Next segment is ACH defeating Marche Rocket in 7:39 by pinfall with a Ready or Not, Here I Come. ACH had a 36, Marche with a 32, D-39. Marche improves in flying though, that's good. Moving on to Rosemary defeating Rachel Summerlin, who's on a one-night deal, in 4:44 by submission with a Spider's Twist. D-44, Rosemary had a 43, Rachel with a 30. Rachel improves in performance, good on her. And we move on to a 62C. She's destroyed her opponent tonight. She sits in the ring with her title, laughing. She says, "Again, I win. I continue to accelerate Impact's decay, and I will show Jade the way to enlightenment at Against All Odds. And after I defeat her, she will decay alongside us. Because in the end, decay comes for everyone. Decay, and Jade storms the ring and they start brawling. Rosemary has to fight for herself as she sent the rest of Decay to search for the new member of their group, and the brawl ends in a stalemate as the locker room eventually empties to separate the two. But yeah, so tensions are obviously they're boiling over a little bit. The storyline has advanced and it's a pretty decent rating. Next segment, Marty Skrull defeats Moose in 4:31 by submission with a chicken wing. D-47. Marty had got a 47, so he has the most popularity out of the new guys, obviously, I think, because he's done a lot in Ring of Honor, whereas the other three, there's the WWE UK Championship tournament, but the belt isn't in the game, and Tyler, Trent, and Pete weren't signed to NXT, so that's how I could get them. So it's a bit weird. This is a February. Oh, it's a February mod actually. I thought it was April for a second. So, but still, I'm not sure if Flash has got him signed in the recent mods. But yeah, it's a bit of a what's going on there. Anyway, so everyone picks up a win in their debut. And we move on to Sudden Impact defeating the Bromans in 12:25 when Kota Ibushi defeated Robbie E by pinfall with a Phoenix Splash, D plus 48. So I really like this team of Ibushi and Andrews because I've thrown them together and they've got great chemistry. Sudden Impact was a randomized name. If you have a better name for them, comment down below. And if I like it, I could change it to this. So, yeah. Mark Andrews with a 36. Kota with a 51, Robbie E with a 42, and Jesse with a 29. So I like all 4 guys. I want to push all 4 guys, but the bromans need to get better before I can push them, because a 29 is not going to cut it, Jesse. So yeah, I gotta help him. We'll move on to a C60. That cut was probably really jarring. I apologize about that. If it wasn't, I've edited it. The Broken Hardys are at the Hardy compound, holding their titles and looking into the camera. And Broken Matt says, Council of Death Count, or whatever they're called. I've seen in different places they're called different things. Doesn't matter. This Sunday, we shall prove that we are the greatest tag team in all of space and time when we delete you, yes. With the deletion of your associate Kingston earlier tonight, you no longer have the advantage of numbers. We have held our broken titles for 4 Earth months now, a century in space-time, and we will hold them for many more. But out of nowhere, Storm and Bram appear and they brawl with the Hardys. They eventually brawl towards the Lake of Reincarnation, where James Storm falls in and comes out in full cowboy attire. And he says, "What the fuck you looking at? I'm the cowboy James Storm. Yeehaw!" And I'm going to drink some beer. And Bram's just like, fuck off. Pushes him back in. He comes back out as DCC Storm again. And the Hardys call on Vanguard 1 and DCC retreat. The match on Sunday should be wild. That segment was a lot of fun to write because I just wanted to get Cowboy Storm back in for a sec. C60 storyline advances, no worker improvements. Next segment. And wow. Blasted through this show pretty quickly. In our main event, EC3 defeated Chris Sabin in 13:41 by pinfall with a sweet meat sizzler following interference from Drew Galloway. C60. So obviously if Sabin won, it would become a triple threat against all odds. So Drew's been like, I'm just going to have to do it. And he's hit Sabin, allowing EC3 to get the win and making sure that he only has to have one opponent on Sunday. I don't know what the hell just happened, but if you heard something, just ignore it. Sabin with a 50, Carter with an EC3. EC3 with a 66. The I Want Respect storyline has advanced. Sabin improves in technical and Carter... No, sorry. Oh, I'm so out of it. Sabin improves in performance and Carter improves in technical skills. C60, it's not bad for a main event, but this show's not going to be fantastic, I don't think. And in our closing segment, Galloway's helped his opponent EC3 in his match against Sabin. EC3's won, and we can now confirm that Drew will take on EC3 in a singles match. But with Skrull, Dunn, Bate, and Seven in his corner, is it really 1v1? Galloway enters the ring, and he stares down EC3 before he just knocks him the hell out with a Claymore kick. Impact ends with Galloway holding his title over his head and trash-talking the owner of Impact. C64, the storyline has advanced. So that was our main focus of this show. Continuing this feud, introducing who we needed to. So this show was debut galore. Next couple shows, probably going to be a couple more debuts. But that is the show. And we got a C-59. I'll take it because it's still a pretty early show. So we got 27 regions our pop increased in, but we lost it in 2 as well. So I'm going to set a target for 5 likes again. 5 likes and I'll get the pay-per-view out as soon as possible. There should be a hype package kind of making its way out in the next day or 2. If you've seen what Total Team Talk's done for like Bound for Glory and Slammiversary and High Stakes, his pay-per-views where he's put something out like that a bit early, that's kind of what this is. I've made it. I just need to edit like the photoshopped match card in. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, so comment below, tell me what you're enjoying, what you're not liking, any storyline ideas. We had a idea for a Dalton Castle and Moose feud, which is interesting. I might take that on board. I'm thinking about it. And so yeah, I never would have thought of doing that before. So I can't remember your name. I think it's Eric. Thanks for that, man. You're a legend. And so any storyline ideas, match ideas, whatever, tell me down below, and I will see you for Against All Odds.